Parents around the world face the same kinds of challenges, especially parents of young children, and they can often feel isolated and lacking in the resources they need, both in providing care for that child and in providing meaningful and engaging activities for that child. My name is Elijah Wilcott, and I worked with Edward Cho and Ola Merzah as part of our graduation requirements for DigitalCrafts UX UI program, and we came up with the app that we have called Nurture, reflecting our desire to provide tools for nurturing young children and their parents as well as they navigate through finding care and activities for their young children. To get there, we went through a process. We did our research and we established a focus. We came up with a design and then produced the final product along with plans for the future. The research, of course, begins with questions, asking what apps are already out there and how are parents using what's already there, and do they really want what's there, or is there something lacking? And our process included activities such as a competitive analysis and user interviews. Next, we went on to establish the focus of our app. What is it going to be all about? What experience do we want them to have with our app? And our processes included making a customer journey map, creating personas, as well as what we call an HMW, a how might we statement, a question of how might we solve this particular problem. Next, we went on to the design phase, thinking of how it should look, but more importantly, how it should work. And finally, we produced a product. We needed to be able to answer the question of, does the experience feel right? And do users agree that the experience feels right? In order to accomplish that, we created a functioning prototype in Figma, sent it to the users that we talked with before to see what their feedback was. We researched many apps that were out there online. We looked at dozens of different apps, but then settled in on 4 commonly used babysitting apps. Took just dozens and dozens of screenshots, took lots and lots of notes of what is in these apps, what do they do, how do they work, what features do they have, what features do they lack, what features are things that we would want to incorporate in our app as well. Following the competitive analysis, it was time to talk to real parents to see what they had to say.
Hello, my name is Ola Merzah. I took care of the part of the user research process into this project. And the first thing I started was creating a user survey. And this was pretty much just to indicate what most parents use when it comes to networking, finding a babysitter, along with just browsing through activities for their kids. So the survey had 4 questions. These questions are pretty much, as I mentioned, they're very general in regarding what we will use on this app as far as features. I was able to gather 4 responses. I've had different responses for the first question. As you guys can see, 50% for Facebook, 25 Twitter, and then 1 for Instagram. Are you a parent? 75 of the responders said yes. Only 25 said no. And this is if you are a parent, do you use any networking platforms to engage with kids as well? So I believe this is the same person that responded to no to them being a parent, responded to no to this answer as well, to this question as well. And this right here was where I got 100%, so which is 4 yeses. And the question is, do you prefer having a one platform that is just specifically for parents? So after conducting all these responses, I went ahead and created a interview questions that I pretty much asked the same parents that responded to yes to all of these questions that I had for them through the survey. And I just went ahead and asked them like general questions about what do they expect from an app? What do they expect from finding a sitter in general? How do they reach a sitter? Do they prefer using like any different platform? Do they prefer using like a service app for just parents? And after getting their answers, I went ahead and created a user persona This persona is just a general person about what a potential user would use this app for. So her name is Anna Adams. She is 34 years old, an accountant who lives in Houston, Texas, and she is also a mother of two. Um, Anna works from home, but she just got promoted to a job that requires her to work from the office 3 days a week. Anna does not have a babysitter and also no family members that can help around with the kids. She is also in desperate need to finding a sitter that she can fully trust while she's at work. And Anna came across multiple apps that provide babysitting services, but she cannot seem to find the right sitter for her kids. She also is looking for an app that can provide multiple services for her kids' age, where she can connect with parents and sitters as well.
We came up with this how might we statement. How might we create a more seamless and community-driven process for parents and babysitters to connect on a mobile platform? Now that we had our big idea, it was time to begin designing. We began with doing some hand sketching or just rough sketching in a design program, each of us expressing our own ideas. We got together, talked about our ideas, and then we began creating a user flow. The user flow is a guide for every screen and pop-up and decision that a user will experience in the app to make sure that we have the design for every piece covered in the entire process.
So we decided to keep our wireframing a little bit simple here with like core essential features such as a nav board and also the top navigation menu. And then we also get to see some of the activities and then the babysitter options here. What we wanted to do was keep the app overall simple. And once we get into the prototyping here and see that we can go into login, we changed some stuff while making the overall like font a little bit bigger, as well as just kind of keeping the text more legible. And then in the activity stages, we just wanted to make sure that you could see an overall gist of like the overall activity, viewing that, and the essential features to save. We also wanted to filter with it. The option to filter and sort was very important for us, as well as being able to option filter and also sort throughout the babysitter's options as well. When you do see the babysitter cards, they're very simple, but once you do click on the babysitters, you see the video introduction as well as a brief description about them. This is just so that we could really tackle the problems that we found with existing platforms on babysitting apps. So that's why we kind of like changed it up here. When you go to book now, these are some of the required informations that you have to send in for the babysitter and also special instructions for them to know. And then once you book that, you have 24 hours to confirm or reject. And you get to see all your future appointments for the dates. Now you get to see the past as well to write a review and submit that review. Once you get into chat, you can see all of the messages that you've had, as well as pinned messages that you frequently talk to for individuals. And you get to see the babysitters that you've talked to. So Brittany Jones, who you just booked, you can also contact her and message her, video call, or call her within your need. The profile is very simple. You have the option to change your contact information as well as your name, as well as biography. And you also have the option to check your sitting history and see all of your past sitters.
The user testing returned some really positive feedback, and we have even created a more elaborate user flow for features that we want to add in the future, and we hope that you are as excited about Nurture as we are.